This mastery session is all about why I walk in the woods. Now you're going, Robin, why are you sharing a mastery session on your nature walks? But I remember reading a book that has still formed my thinking even to this moment that I am blessed to share with you. And it's Walden by Henry David Thoreau. Do you know the story about Walden? Well, this is a man who lived in the world, and he sort of came across a thought experiment about living by a lake in this area called Walden. I think the pond was called Walden. I think it was, and it was on Walden Pond. And it really got me thinking about people who divorce themselves from the world and go out into the wilderness just to think and just to learn about themselves and just to be. I'm reading another book right now called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. You might have read her book, Eat, Pray, Love. And in that book, she talks about this incredibly creative author who wrote this piece of work that made him very famous. And the fame just didn't sit well with him. So guess what he did? He went to Greece and lived on the top of a mountain for 10 years. And then after that time in the wilderness, he came back and wrote another book, and people were wowed again, and they thought he was like this creative god. And what he did do, when he became super famous, he went off for another few decades and did another masterwork that he birthed into the world. And what I'm suggesting to you is this. In this world where so few of us are comfortable being alone, being in the wilderness, in this world where almost everywhere you go, there's technology and there's noise and there's complexity. Almost everywhere you go, people want to talk. Just imagine what your life would be like as a creative person, as a leader, as a productive person, as a producer, as a human being, if you installed a weekly ritual of going for a walk in the woods. And to me, it is like a tonic from toxicity. I used to do it once a week. I used to do it Sunday mornings. Now I probably go out to the woods 3 or 4 times a week. And I actually schedule it, as my part of my refueling time on my weekly schedule. And what do? I get into my car. As I drive, I turn on my audiobooks. I listen to whatever audiobook I want to listen to that day. It could be on productivity, business building, relationship building, psychology, family life, legacy, whatever it is. And I drive about 45 minutes to this place, and it's these deep woods, and I have my hiking boots on, and I have my walking gear, and I've got my water, and then I walk in the woods, and it's probably an hour walk. And what do? I smell the smells, and I look at the flowers, and I savor life, and I look at the trees, and sometimes I get to see the sun setting, and I simply just notice. How often in your days do you notice? Do you notice the glory of life? Maybe it's the lilies, maybe it's the way the sunlight looks as it comes through the trees. And what happens is you literally shift from, a messy mind or a chattering mind, and you start to just be. And that's when you get great ideas. And that's when you start to think about your life. And that's when you get to know about your character. And that's when you can ask yourself some big questions. That's when you can course correct. Maybe your life hasn't been going so well, so you decide to make some changes. But during those nature walks, you get so many great ideas, and you start to reconnect with the glory of life. And I often carry a piece of paper and a pen with me because I don't want to bring technology out into those woods. And I write down ideas as I'm walking because they just come to me. And we could get into the why they come to you. It's because your mind shifts from beta to alpha. Your brainwaves slow down. Your mind starts to produce these neurochemicals like dopamine and serotonin. It's actually called Transient Hypofrontality. There's a word for you to share with your friends and family later on tonight. Transient Hypofrontality. Just Google it. You can read all about it. Maybe in another mastery session, I'm going to share it with you. I teach it a lot at a lot of my live events these days because it's a really powerful model. But the bottom line is this. If you are in the world, you cannot slow down your mind to tap into the genius that lives within your brain. You do have a genius deep within your brain. You know that, right? But it doesn't happen to you when you're out in the world around all this noise. And that's why you get your best ideas walking in the woods. That's why you get your best ideas on a beach in Barbados. That's why you get your best ideas In the shower, transient hypofrontality. Your brain shuts down, the prefrontal cortex starts to shut down, and you actually tap out of logic and deep into the finest place of thinking that lies within you. And so the point is simply this: build a ritual to go for a walk in the woods at least once a week. You're going to get so many great ideas. You're going to refuel your energy. You'll release stress, and you'll start to become even more of a greater human being, which is my greatest wish for you. Hi, it's Robin. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast, and definitely go over to robinsharma.com for more information, tools, and resources on mastery, elite performance, and living a world-class life.